Hey everyone, it's the last day of October, and as you might all know, that means we are checking out the potential upcoming units in November 2021. As per usual, if you're watching my channel for the first time, because I know about 50% or more are not subbed to me, so you probably don't know this, but I do these videos every month where I predict which units we are going to get. And yeah, I was right most of the time for the last couple of months. It's just really lucky maybe that I'm this accurate, but most of the time it's rather easy to tell which units we are getting. And so is this very next month. Alright, let's dive right in. The first one, super easy. We are having Black Friday in November. It's on November 26th, which is a Friday. But it also marks the last week of a new unit, meaning, and this could be the second week or even the first week of Clash of Wills, who knows, but it's for sure that we are going to get a new Clash of Wills unit along the way. Are we getting Mastermind Zon NVA? I don't know, but I sure hope so, because Mastermind Xon, even though I never pulled for him at the very beginning when he got released, I hope you watched my video yesterday, which I'm very happy that you guys loved this kind of video, because I always enjoyed making the video, top 5 units I regretted skipping. So yeah, I really hope that we're gonna see NVA Mastermind Xon, but it's probably just a pipe dream, like having Trials of Mana or Legends of Mana on Global. Those things are never happening, I would presume. But anyway, we're getting a new Clash unit, that's for sure. We don't know what it's going to be, but let's hope the new Clash unit isn't as bad as Oliveira and Carton. And yes, I still believe Carton is bad. So yeah, nothing else to say really. Let's hope for the best. We are gonna get a few hopefully good bundles. Usually Black Friday cash bundles are pretty good. I know I bought one last year. Am I going to buy another Black Friday cash bundle this year? Probably not, because I'm not really pulling for meta units anymore, so we'll see, but I'll check the bundles out at least. And then we are due for another collab, and the JP side of things had Dragon Quest next. It's technically JP actually had back-to-back collab events with Dragon Quest and Legends of Mana, if I'm not totally mistaken. And we know for a fact that Gumi, for whatever reason, hates the Mana series, so we are not getting the Mana series. But for certain, we are going to get Dragon Quest at some point, because we've had every single Dragon Quest collab so far. So it's very, well, not far-fetched. It's not far-fetched at all to assume that we're getting this Dragon Quest collab as well. And one of the units is a Super Limit Burst unit. It's a tag chaining unit, our first tag SLB unit, if I'm not totally mistaken. Alina and Marquise de Leon. Materia as a Trust Master, 60% attack, 100% LB fill rate, and Guts, which is cool. It's a good Materia slot. No, not gonna complain about this, especially for physical DPS. Having no Guts, like Madame Adele has no Guts, for example, and that 60% attack it's a nice bonus, not gonna lie. I mean, we do have Oerba's Boon, which is also Guts and I believe 60 to 80% magic. Good stuff. I always like these, and Oerba's Boon is a super Trust Master. This is a Trust Master reward. It's a good one. For what it offers, it is actually a decent Trust Master reward. The Super Trust Master is a Fist, 188 attack, 75% LB damage, which I find very nice. Makes normal attacks hit twice, which is also a cool bonus. And 50% physical human killer on top of things. It's one of those rare cases where I would say, although this is a Super Limit Burst unit, the STMR might make it worth pulling for just because of the killer on the one hand. Although the true double hand cross Aigoyon arm, it's a double hand for one fact, and it has 75% human killer, but the 75% LB damage is really cool. I like it a lot, honestly. The vision card, it's a shared vision card with the other Dragon Quest unit that we're gonna talk about in a few minutes, but it's 50% base attack and magic and 100 base attack magic, 25 limit burst damage, 50% dragon killer physical and magical, and 300 static attack, magic, defense, and spirit, which is okay for Dragon Quest only units. From my point of view, all of these vision cards with static stuff should be 500, but I guess 500 stats are premium units only. Still, decent stuff for Elena and Marquise de Leon. So how good are they? As a tag chaining unit, they are surprisingly strong. It's that the strongest tag chain is, or they are the strongest tag chainers at 250x. However, that 250x is their super limit burst. Their standard limit burst is a lot weaker. It's along the lines of the Auric brothers, but the super limit burst, it actually deals good damage for a tag chainer. Great STMR, great vision card, but the bad side of things, that one is actually overwhelming. Damage-wise, they are already far behind. The SLB availability depends on the EX levels, which I hate a lot, because it's most of the time not really worth it going for these SLB units. And going for EX plus 3, especially with SLB units that are inflexible with gearing, it's... they have 80% defense break, which are not relevant. They have a super lame kit, which doesn't do a lot of things. They have a crit ability, but that ability has a 10% chance to miss. It's whatever. And the greatest downside of this tag unit is that they only have 100% innate equipment through dual wield attack, meaning you have to sacrifice either an accessory slot for Warlord Godlegs or an materia slot for Riku's, Kingdom Heart Riku's Super Trust Master. So I don't like this at all. I don't know why they would release it in a state like this. We are at a point where, technically speaking, this collab should have been released weeks, if not months ago. And by this point, they should make it 200 innate equipment attack through dual wield. Just because they are already too far behind, and sacrificing either equipment slots or materia slots won't entice me to spend any lapis on this, or even tickets, honestly. So yeah, should you pull for this tag unit? They are straight up unusable in Clash. They have very low resistances, no passive evasion, have very few passive immunities. It's just not going to happen, and the gearing restrictions, they are too large as well. So straight up unusable in Clash, and even for Dark Visions, which JP units are made for essentially, they are mediocre for that format as well, which begs the question, why should you pull to begin with? Damage is already far behind, especially with the global exclusive units we've been getting that are more tied to Clash. But I think Gumi is either purposefully or unintentionally leveling the playing field by making the latest global exclusive units that are meant for the Clash of Wilds straight up unusable outside of it. So I don't know if this is intentional, but with the bad non-Clash portions of the latest global exclusive units, I think we're going to see, or we're going to get into a place where JP units, they are bad for Clash, but good, half decent for DV. But global exclusive units are the other way around, great for, or good for Clash, but bad for everything else. So it's a weird spot to be in, to be honest, as a player especially. But let's hope for the best that Gumi turns things around, because I'd much rather have units such as Sky that make things rather easy because they're so overpowered in either format, or Lara. Lara is great. Lara is such a good unit. I believe to this very day that Gumi underestimated what they did with Lara. Actually, she's super good outside Clash. She's super good inside Clash. She's amazing in Clash. And she's the strongest Clash unit ever done so far, and that by a huge margin. So we'll see. I could go on this topic for hours, so let's stop about this. Marquise de Leon and Elena, I think they are not worth spending lapis. tickets for that single copy to eventually get their TMR, STMR should be the way. This is the way. For me at least, and unless you like the unit, obviously. And the other unit with Dragon Quest releasing is Zoma. Lord of Destruction Zoma is the correct translation from the Japanese name. We don't know how he's going, or it is going to be called. Trustmaster, Rope. It's a Brave Shift unit, by the way, as you can see from the two different sprites. Different, quote unquote. It's just same posture, just more effects, and with the effect increase, the shading or the lighting it changed a bit, but it's essentially exactly the same. Anyway, Trustmaster, Rope, 12 defense, 67 magic, 32 SPR, 50 ice dark resistance, 500 static attack from Zoma only. That applies to Zoma, this one, and the past one, I believe. And also for Zoma only, full start of the LB gauge. Full LB gauge at the start of the battle. That is what I was going to say. Cool one. It's pretty much the same deal as with Sephiroth's STMR. You want this to use on Zoma, but probably nobody else. But yeah, Super Trustmaster is the real deal. It's 80% magic, 75% LB damage. This is, if you ever wanted a Sora, a Kingdom Hearts Sora equivalent for mages, here it is. And this is so good that I actually might pull for Zoma just to get at least to one of these STMRs, because 80% magic, 75% LB damage, units such as Ibarra, they are going to love this. Ibarra is such a weird case that if you want maxing out killers and LB and magic, you have to sacrifice one of them. And it's usually either the killers or the LB damage, but with this material, you don't have to make any sacrifices anymore. And it also applies to every other mage that wants to maximize LB, magic, and killers, with the exception of Evokers, obviously, but this is such a good STMR. It's absurdly good. It's the best STMR for every LB finishing mage, and I want this. Vision card, same as with Alina and Marquise de Leon. So yeah, how good is he? I don't know if I should call Zoma he, I don't know. Should I call it it? I don't know. But yeah, anyway, the good things about Zoma: innate 400% true double hand magic. That is, if you have his Trustmaster, Super Trustmaster equipped. But rest assured, you're gonna have the Super Trustmaster equipped. It's absurdly good. It's a great vision card still, and he is a 280x ice magic finisher. However, it's a stacking LB, and you have to fire it off twice before it reaches the max potential on the third use. So keep that in mind. It's the same deal as with Lara. You also need Lara to hit twice with LB before the third one actually deals the real deal. But still, 280x magic damage, ice that is. He is our technically strongest LB finisher for mages, but locked to ice, sadly. One of the bad things is also that he has rather very low base magic. At EX plus 3, it's only 400 base magic. Usually mages have around 430 to 450, so that makes a huge difference, and it is what stops him from being the top 1 magic DPS. Also, the kid is super bare bones, and another thing that I really dislike is, especially for a Collab unit, that he only has 30% Ice Amp for self, so you end up actually having to use Celeste anyway, because she has that 45% Ice Amp, which I find, it's a unit that is this rare, it's a Collab unit, why not make it 45 or 50%? There is no reason not to, honestly. So yeah, should you pull? I mean, Zoma is clearly the better of the two Dragon Quest units, and damage for a mage is surprisingly high, but in the grand scheme of things, especially with the low base magic in mind, he is rather far behind the damage curve. Still, may be actually used for Clash of Wilds if we are getting an ice stage, because he has good innate resistances and he has a Brave Shift, so it may be useful. The same reason applies to ice stages and dark visions, obviously. And pulling for the STMR, like I said earlier, it is actually worth it from my point of view, and I actually might go for a Zoma at least. but we'll see about that. Next up, the funniest thing, honestly, Slime is getting an SLB. And it's a 3-star unit. If I had done all of these things Slime is getting, it's just funny. You should check it out for yourselves. I just pointed out a few things. So you can increase modifiers of his single attack, and as you can see, this is 500x attack. So, and it's getting increased by the super limit burst by another 400. So that one attack that Slime can do is actually hitting super hard, and I know for a fact that I'm gonna do a couple of videos with Slime just demolishing things and trials, because I find that funny. And the SLB is Magic Star, meaning it's physical typed damage, meaning you can use physical killers. It's going to be a lot of fun using Slime, and I'm looking forward to this, honestly. So yeah, Slime. Relevant DPS, I guess. But yeah. Next is a Dragon Lord. It's also getting a Neo Vision Awakened. Dragon Lord has a base form and Brave Shift form. Gains a few cool things like 200% increased LB damage, 300 magic on a cooldown. It's cool. Also storing mechanic up to 960 magic, but it takes a while. You can only cast it 4 times, 80x, so you have you have 3 turns of quad casting focus. It's gonna take a while to fire it off, but it's okay, especially when you consider his LB. It's only 180x, but with that huge increase in magic, it may do decent damage. It's also a 135 Fire Emperor, which is cool to all enemies. But yeah, I don't think his damage is all that relevant, but it's a decent discount option. So yeah. Then we are getting Final Fantasy X. And with it comes the greatest disappointment this game has ever seen in a Neo Vision unit. I don't even know why they are calling Riku a Neo Vision unit, because essentially what she is she's a 7-star unit at heart, at core. But yeah, Materia, 60 attack, 60% attack, 30% provoke, Super Trustmaster as a fist, 187 attack, 100% Machina Killer, which is the only good thing, paired with the 100% LB fill rate. The other ones are totally useless. 20% more battle XP for the unit and 2000% more Gil Vision card. Defense Spirit 40, 80 at 10, 50% Defense Spirit at level 4 passive, 50% Fairy Killer, Physical Magical, and 300 Static Defense Spirit. Why she's scaling off of Defense Spirit, nobody knows. When she has an attack materia, it's a secret that only Alum probably knows the answer to. But yeah, so how good is she? Okayish STMR for the killer, and the rest of it is actually not worth mentioning. So should you pull? No, she is trash. And if you're pulling for her, you're making a mistake. You're wasting Lapis. And that is all I'm going to say about Riku. Moving on. And the next one is probably the highlight for at least Gumi, because they might be hoping to make a lot of money out of it. It's a new premium unit, and it's Braska's daughter Yuna. I know many people are looking forward to her, and I kind of get why, because she is a popular character in Final Fantasy X. But please, please keep in mind she's a premium unit, and if you pulled on Sephiroth and or Tifa, you know what this entails. And for me personally, I will entirely skip her, because I got burned way too hard on the first premium banners with Tifa and Sephiroth, so I learned my lesson the hard way, and I'm gonna skip Yuna. But yeah, for those of you who don't want to skip her because you like the character, the unit, Materia, 30% evoke damage, 100% chain acceleration, normal chain, not magic, not elemental chains. Please keep in mind this is not lightning STMR equivalent. This is Avalanche Tifa TMR equivalent, meaning your chain does not start at 0 but at 100 instantly. and it does not increase chain mod. Please keep that in mind. The Super Trust Master is an accessory, the best accessory for all evokers. 55 attack, magic, 60 spirit, 50% LB increase. Yuna and Tidus also get 500 static attack and SPR. But the real kicker here is, oops, I forgot to add one thing. 30% mod increase for all evoke limit bursts, and 15% mod increase for all evoke abilities without LBs. I should add that. Give me a second. Alright, we are back. Sorry for that little mistake. I missed that part. So here it is, 15x mod increase for all evoke abilities without LBs, obviously. It is super good, right? And I'd like to have one copy of this STMR on the JP server. It sadly does not stack. I am really hoping that it is going to stack on global, because if it were to stack, evoke mages such as Luna Freya, Pharis to some extent, and especially Terra, they will become relevant again. And so would Yuna too, because when she's releasing, whenever that is, might be next week even, she won't be that relevant. And by making her Super Trust Master stackable, she kind of would be relevant. I know it sounds crazy, but that 500 static spirit and that additional 30x mod increase for the LB would make a huge difference. And I'm really hoping that they make it stackable, because if they were to make the STMR stackable, I might actually pull the trigger yet again and regret it. But it'd be worth it. So the vision card, it's due to the fact that this is a premium unit, it is only available at EX Plus 3, but all the passives, etc. are unlocked immediately. 125 spirit, highest in game, 80% spirit base of flatline, 100% fairy killer, and 500 static attack, spirit, sorry, but it's only FFX units. So basically only herself. So yeah, how good is she? Why does it not keep going? There we are. So she has an absurdly good STMR for all evokers. I think the vision card is amazing. And she is a super strong support for evokers, because she can further increase evoke damage by 30x via her base LB. Now the base LB is super stacked anyway, because it also increases Reaper Killer, physical and magical, by 160% to all party members, which I like. So bringing Yuna alongside, say, Terra, for example, or Luna Freya, makes up for a huge difference. She also has a 30% rod. Is it rod? I thought it was staff. Oh, let me look this up 1 second. I'm sorry for making another cut here. Okay, sorry. It actually is a staff imperil, meaning that Luna Freya, who wants to use Scepter of the Pious, which is a staff, she actually is going to be the single greatest complement to Luna Freya, Oracle Maiden Luna Freya, that is. And yeah, it's one of the reasons why Yuna is so cool, because she has that staff imperil and we don't have to feel bad when using staffs anymore. The bad things about Yuna though, she's a premium unit like I mentioned, meaning super high cost, no shard bundles, no shards to buy from the VIP, or no shards to buy from other sources. It's going to be a huge disaster yet again. So if you thought that it was bad already with Seth and Tifa, well, it's going to be just as bad with Yuna, unless Gumi learned a lesson, but they probably didn't. She also has huge gearing issues for true single wield spirit, because she only has 150% innately. The staff imperil is locked to EX plus 3, which is super bad, because if you don't have her at EX plus 3, she just does nothing for Luna Freya and other staff users. She only has 280% spirit increase for self on her Grandis, which I feel like, why? And only has a 30% light amp for herself, which is again, why? She's a premium unit. Aerith had 45% light amps, and she's also a premium unit, so can't Yuna? especially because she's a premium unit. What makes her premium? Nothing. From my point of view, nothing makes Yuna a premium unit. She has no 300% buffs. For whatever reason, if it's a premium unit, I want at least 350% stat increase. Honestly, 400% should be it for premium units. If we're paying this much, it should be 400%. And if it's a DPS, I want at least 45% amps to the element they are using. 30% for a premium unit, that's straight up SLB garbage. I want at least 45. I should say 50 because we are paying premium for this in Lapis or money. So this should be 50%. Hands down. And Yuna is not premium to me. I don't know what qualifies her to be premium, but it's certainly not her passives and abilities. So yeah, should you pull? She's a premium unit. Always keep that in mind. You're gonna overpay for her, and she's not worth the premium price tag. Her damage is good, but far behind in the grand scheme of things, and takes a lot of gearing and materia to make work. Her STMR though is actually worth getting one copy, could potentially make Evokers relevant again, like I said, if the STMR is stackable especially. I personally will not waste Lapis on premium units ever again, because unless they really power creep Sephiroth by a huge margin. The Potara Fusion Knights of Grandchild, which since are actually pulled for, I believe yesterday or today, they are one of the units I might actually pull for, even though they are premium. But that's an example, for example. That's a good example when I might actually go for another premium unit. But Yuna is not such an example, so it's a skip for me. Anyway, moving on. We are also getting, with Yuna, not a Neo Vision Neo Vision Awakened. It's star player Titus. He's an SLB unit. He gains chain modifier cap, 100 increase, so it's 5x cap. We only need either the crown, the clothes, or indestructible light to make him 6x cap, which is cool. He also gains 1000 static attack, which is not too shabby. Decent LB increased, LB damage increased by 200% on his Grandis, one single use though. Also just 30% light amp, and this is an SLB unit by the way, also 30% light amp, just the same way, 30% light amp for a premium unit. So I should calm down. Anyway, SLB, light and water decrease 135%, one turn though, all enemies, good stuff. Anyway, 80% defense decrease, one turn, trash. 150 beast and fairy killer, only to himself, meh. And 120x physical damage can be imbued. That's the big deal here. With 50% defense ignore, so effectively 240x to all enemies. One single hit. It's a decent SLB, so to speak. Good unit all in all, especially with the water and light imperils. That's something to keep in mind. And then lastly, it's two units I've talked about last month already. Mediana, not really going to talk about this again. She is good. She's very comparable to Zoma, and I don't think we're going to see her because of that, because she also is an ice damage dealer. Releasing her in November alongside Zoma is going to be kind of stupid from a business point of view, because I'd personally go for Mediana instead of Zoma in terms of damage. But when it comes to the Super Trust Master, Zoma actually makes the cut. But yeah, Mediana, super comparable to Zoma. I don't think she's happening in November, but I got her on this list for completionist's sake. Same applies to Blue Mage Fina. Already talked about it, her for the last 2 months. Probably not releasing in November because she was tied to Season 4. We don't get that yet in Global. It's probably another month or 2 away. She's a Fairy Killer. Physical DPS in Brave Shift. Yeah, nothing too fancy. So here's my release prediction. I think we're going to see Yuna next week with her mocking on November 11th. It's going to be the most disappointing banner you'll ever have seen in this game with Riku plus Item World. On November 18th, it's probably a good time to introduce the Dragon Quest collab and the raid event that was tied to it. 25th of November is when I would think that Clash of Wills will be returning. We're also getting the Black Friday Clash unit, bundles, etc. And like I just mentioned, I don't think we'll see Blue Match Fina, and they are probably delaying Mediana as long as they can, especially because she's so comparable to Zoma in way too many ways. That would actually, well, reduce the incentive to pull for Zoma because Mediana's comparably strong. And yeah, that's it. That's the end of this video. Thank you all for watching. I'd love to hear or read your predictions for November. Do you really think that we are gonna get Dragon Quest Collab? Let me know in the comments. Have a nice rest of the Friday evening, morning, afternoon, wherever you're from. We'll see each other tomorrow for hopefully my Clash of Wills scoring attempt without Sky. So that's going to be fun. Not. Anyway, bye bye.